Hello and welcome to Top 4 FPL. Games Week 3 has just ended. Man United 2, Liverpool 1. Woohoo!
What are you woohooing for?
We've got a couple of people on the show that have got something to say about that. But anyway, we have an avalanche of goals, predominantly from unorthodox and mostly overlooked players. Well done, all you fantasy ballers, if you cashed in on the differentials. Ha ha ha. What a Games Week. Anyway, over to you, Rock and Roll.
I don't want to talk too much tonight. No, seriously.
It's a dark day. A dark day.
You know, and the game's just finished.
Yeah. I'm wearing this T-shirt, and I don't know if you can read it. It says "The Unbearables." Yeah. Now, this is a T-shirt that I bought online because during the season we won the Champions League a few seasons ago. That season we were doing well in the league, and fans of Arsenal, Man United, basically any club that hates Liverpool, or fans from clubs that hate Liverpool, were calling us we would be unbearable if we won the league or if we win the Champions League. So when we won the Champions League, one of the supporters went out and made an Unbearables T-shirt like this.
Brilliant! I love it. It looks quite cool, actually. It looks like one of those rock and roll T-shirts, like the Unbearables.
Yeah. And tonight we were unbearable on a different level. So.
What's happening to Liverpool?
I called it last week. Anybody who hasn't watched it,
you did. You said that you thought Man United were going to beat them. You did.
Yes.
Go back and watch Gameweek 2. It was obvious. I don't want to repeat myself. What pisses me off is that it's not obvious to people that it should be obvious to, and I'm going to leave it at that.
If any of you were actually following Twitter, you'll see the score I put up there before the Liverpool game.
He called it.
Did he call it?
He called it.
Well done, Oscar Bunny. Well done. Oscar Bunny's he's starting to pick up momentum already. Yeah.
He's the tortoise in the hair race.
What about you, Sparky? You made Diaz captain, didn't you?
Not for this game. No, I made Harry Kane captain this week, and he got me some points. So not a bad choice. I made Luis Diaz captain last week, and he scored a blinder.
What is happening to Alexander-Arnold? He's barely got a point this season in 3 games.
I'm not commenting again. Like I said, I'm not
commenting. Do we have to talk about this?
Well, that's the thing. When we looked at the percentage of people that were buying the players, Alexander-Arnold's literally in everyone's team, isn't he?
Not in mine.
If we're talking about that, it's the whole Liverpool team that's been absolutely tragic this season. You can't blame Arnold. I mean, obviously, he can only do so much by himself. No one's performed. Salah, for someone who's just got a new contract, he should be flying, and he's barely walking right now in terms of football, in terms of being able to play a simple pass. This is going to go on for long. I really don't want to. I'm quite emotional right now.
We could go on about Liverpool forever and ever, and I think we should probably look at the league table and see how badly our teams have done this week.
Yeah, Heralds of Galactus in 9th position at the moment, but you haven't seen my team yet, and I've got a Rashford on the bench who scored. So that's another 7. And if he gets bonus, I should probably have up to 9 points if he gets 2 bonus. If he gets 1, 8 or 9 points I've got coming on. So I'll be on 58 or 59 after Rashford.
Oh, would you look at that? I've actually got exactly the same strike force as of next week.
No, you copied my...
I don't even know your team.
Tony. You copied my Ivan Tony.
I think half the people in the Fantasy Football League have your strikers.
Jesus is the first player in Fantasy Premier League history to be owned by over 80% of the Fantasy League managers.
He's so undervalued, I think, this season.
What a player! I can't believe that Man City didn't give him the mantle that he deserved, because he's getting better and better as well.
Well, it looks like Nunez theory is going to be top this week, no matter what happens with the Heralds of Galactus score. Nunez theory he's currently on 53 points. The Liverpool,
well done.
The Manchester United Liverpool game just finished. So the table.
It's not going to do me any favours. Let's put it that way.
But with an extra,
I'm happy with that score actually. Now, I wanted Liverpool to win, but now my differential is Rashford now, so he's just struck me in 8 points where nobody would have guessed really. So I'm happy about that.
Well, I can't say any of my differentials worked, but my preferentials kind of worked, which was Kane, who I captained this week over Diaz, who I captained last week, so I chose well with my captain. I bought in Zinchenko this week as well. I took a -4. I had to. My team wasn't looking good for this week before. My differential was Mbuemo as well, who last week scored.
Yes.
Didn't have a good scoring week this week. He had quite a decent game, but didn't points for me, unfortunately.
And who's on the bench?
We need to have this
Oh,
conversation.
yeah, oh my gosh, no, don't. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that nice and conveniently.
Schoolboy errors. Schoolboy
That's not
errors.
a schoolboy error. He's done nothing for the first 2 weeks in terms of score output anyway. He's done nothing. He was up against Man City.
Sparky, if you watched the last few episodes that we've done, you might have heard me talking about don't worry if your players don't score, don't give up on them, because the following week, believe me, if you get rid of them, they will score the following week. So give them about 3 or 4 chances.
That's fine, but he's up against Man City.
Yes, up against Man City, but have you seen Newcastle lately? Have you seen them lately?
No, they've been very good. They've been very good.
They're ready to go toe to toe with like Real Madrid at the moment.
But they drew their first 2 games.
Yeah.
No, they draw. They forced it. That's what I remember anyway. But that's the one. And I was not expecting them to beat Man City. I was not. No. Who would have made that bet? Who would have made it?
I don't know. Newcastle have done some amazing things in the past. I remember when Arsenal were 4-0 up on Newcastle about 10 seasons ago, and Newcastle came back 4-4, and Czech Tiote scored in that one. I remember a belter of a thunderbolt.
Okay, but guess what? Salah's done great things in the past as well, but he's been absolute whack shit for the first 3 games.
He scored today.
And I'm going to stop there.
He scored today.
But he was terrible. He was terrible today. He was lucky. It was a lucky goal. Lucky rebound. It could have gone anywhere. It came to him right in front of the goal. If he missed it, that would just be the icing on the cake in terms of all the haters. But yeah.
Anyway, the team of the week was Leeds United. And
yes,
we had Oscar Bunny's team, Team Oscar. And he left these Leeds players. Well, Bamford was injured. But
do you know that? Believe it or not,
Aaronson is on the bench. Why did you do that?
I was supposed to put Williams on subs and put Aaronson on, but I totally forgot to switch them around.
You've done all but smooch a poster of Aaronson for the last few weeks, and you left him on the bench.
I've been telling you guys, that guy is amazing.
He was Aaronson's biggest cheerleader up until I just looked. It's like Aaronson. Yes, Aaronson scored, but he didn't put him on the pitch.
I totally forgot to switch him and Williams around. Him and Williams were supposed to switch around. I've said I'll stand my ground, and I'll stand my ground again about Aaronson. I think he's just started in the Premier League, and as he gets used to it, he's going to get better and better as it goes on.
You stand your ground, but
Aaronson will be one of the players where, do you know when Van Duzel, you say, don't copy my Nunez?
Yeah, don't copy his Aaronson. I'm not going to copy your Aaronson.
Don't copy my Aaronson.
No, I won't. But I must admit, he's a good player. And Oscar Bunny, I must admit, you made some amazing predictions and some giving some good advice on this program in the last few programs. Aaronson was one of them, but you don't listen to it yourself.
No, Johnson's the other player I was talking about as well. He's also a very young player, very young player, but he's also building up his experience and is going to be really, really good as it goes on. So yeah, he'll be. These are the cheaper players on the fantasy football league, which I predicted, and I'm still predicting that they're going to do well for the price they are.
Yeah,
and I stand my ground.
Well, did you see the Leeds game this week? Leeds Chelsea.
I saw the highlights.
But at the beginning of the season, I predicted that Leeds would be relegated, probably based on performance last season.
I predicted they could challenge for the Champions League.
That is an amazing
I'm
prediction.
guilty of their prediction of their relegation as well, and they're making me look stupid right now.
I've always put Leeds up there, like similar to Chelsea, because there was a time when Chelsea couldn't win to save their lives, like back in the 80s. And they came back, and Leeds are similar. They're a team with a very, very famous background, and they've won a lot of things. Leeds, they're a big club.
Yeah, Leeds are a big club. I like Leeds. They're a good team.
Yeah. Well, this weekend I tweeted that if they can play like this week in, week out, not just at home but away as well, then definitely they're going to be in with a shout for a European place, if not the top 4.
Yeah, I would say top 7 at least. I would say if they keep the momentum. I know what happens. Normally when I say stuff and I release it into the ether, it ends up not transpiring, basically. So I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, I wish Leeds the best. I think they're going to get relegated.
I do.
I mean, Leeds' performance this week, I had Mendy in goal, I had Reece James, and I brought in Cucurella last week. Leeds obviously scoring meant I lost a lot of points this week in defence from defence. Ryan Sessegnon was on the bench this week. He played Perisic, which worked in Sparky's favour, obviously. But for me, this week, Odegaard did the business. And I captained Kulusevski instead of Kane.
Good pick. Odegaard's good pick.
Yeah.
Good
Odegaard, yeah.
Well done. Again, that was one of Oscar Bunny's predictions in the previous program. He said he thinks Odegaard will outscore Saka this season, which is happening at the moment.
Looking ahead to next week, Van Duzel, have you made your transfers yet?
Oh, do you really want to hear?
Yeah, tell us about your transfers.
You're gonna wet your clue lads when I tell you.
Go on.
You know, like when you get really excited and you just like think, you know what? I just can't suppress that urge inside of me that's saying make your transfer before the game week finishes.
Yeah.
So I succumbed to that urge, and I went and bought a Chelsea player before Leeds smashed them 3-0. And guess which player I bought? Just have one guess.
Oh no, Koulibaly.
Mount.
Koulibaly.
I bought Koulibaly and he got sent off.
No, next week.
Yeah, he's not playing next week now, is he?
Just goes to show there's more to the universe than you think, viewers. This is a coincidence. Stuff like this happens
I can't believe
all the time. The one you buy will end up getting a red card. Do not make your transfers before the games week ends, the last match, or this will definitely happen to you. It's called the law of Murphy. On the positive side of that, my team, I think, is so well picked that it doesn't affect me to have 1 or 2 players sent off. That's right.
Okay, would you want to show us your team? Are we showing teams?
What, do you want
I
to
could tell you the score for Tottenham next week with Nottingham Forest. It's going to be 1-1.
Here we go. Now this is a journey into sound. If Alexander-Arnold, I'm giving him one more chance. If he doesn't score this week or do anything or even keep a clean sheet, he'll be on his way out because he's taken up way too much of my account. And Ake injured. So it will probably have to be Nico Williams. And this is what it will look like if I change it. Nico Williams there. I don't mind Nico Williams. He's all right. But it will be absolutely ridiculous if I choose him over Ake against the Crystal Palace. But it wouldn't.
Yeah. I'm predicting a bloodbath against the Nottingham Forest for Tottenham.
No way. No way.
Do you think so? Yeah. I don't think so. I think Nottingham Forest are another similar club to Leeds as well. And I think they're just starting to find their mojo. They beat West Ham. Come on, man.
If you look at Tottenham, like Arsenal, they're on a roll. So when you're in that zone at the beginning of the season, I think Tottenham, like I'm with Sparky. I think Forest spanking there 4-1, something in that range.
I mean, obviously they're going to be favourites, obviously, but I actually think the way the Premier League is actually going, anything can happen. Anything. I mean,
shall we put like a cheeky bet against each other for that game then?
Go on,
I'm going to say Forest might get a 1-0 win again because they won 1-0 against West Ham. And I think maybe that's their kind of team philosophy, you know, get a goal and defend or something maybe. So maybe 1-0, maybe Forest.
Yeah, I'll go 4-0. I'll go 4-0 because I've got Lloris in goal.
Guys, it's 1-1. I'm telling you the score now. I've seen it.
Wow.
Just like a Liverpool game.
Right.
So let's have a look at your team, Bunny.
On my team, I've got the usual suspects. Changed Welbeck. I've got Welbeck on. I've bought Welbeck and sold Bamford. But yeah, I've got no differences apart from that, really. I've just done one sub. I've made Son as captain. Because even though I predict it will finish 1-1, I think Son will be the one that scores. And I think Johnson would be the one that scores. So I think that game will finish 1-1.
It's about time Son scored. What happened to Son, man? He's 3 games and we haven't heard a peep out of him. Is he all right?
It's just, joint top scorer with Salah last season. They probably made a pact or something somewhere down the line and just...
I've watched both Spurs games. I've watched their 3 games this season. He's still positive. He's still bouncing. He just hasn't scored. That's it. I mean, there's no negativity there. So unlike some players that you can see their heads have dropped, he's fine.
Well, I mean, when you pay like 12 million for a player in fantasy league, you almost expect him to score in the first couple of games at least. If you're playing 12 million, you expect them to score. The 12 million bracket players are players that should be scoring every game or at least making an assist, or getting a bonus or something.
And at this point, I'd like to thank CEO for making me sell Salah for the second game week. He did me a big favour for that because I probably would have kept him captain for the last 2 games as well.
Yeah, but he's scoring though.
Who, Salah?
Yeah.
Oh, he did score today. Yes, that's correct. But I still think that was lucky. That could or couldn't have happened. If I had him as captain, he probably wouldn't have done.
He scored in 2 out of 3 games.
Yeah. But I just feel like he's been rubbish. He's been so rubbish. I'm sorry, I've said it. That's it.
I don't know.
He's rubbish. There's nothing to apologise about. Salah he's been rubbish for over a year.
Yeah, so folks, just because you're paying more doesn't mean you're getting more. Remember that.
I mean, Son will score. He will hit double figures, but
he's better start firing soon.
But not a 12 million player. He's not going to have the same season he had last season. That was an anomaly.
Are you going to keep Son or are you going to get rid of him?
I'm 100% keeping him.
Sparky, who did you bring in? Do you want to show us who you've got for next week?
Okay, so I have completely copied Van Duzel's strike attack force. That was totally unintentional, by the way. It was totally unintentional. Where's he gone? Where's he gone?
That's not fair. How am I supposed to catch you up when you've got all the same players as me? It's impossible.
Well, that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea for him, isn't it?
No.
But you better hope you get manager of the month because you're going to have to transfer my team out, basically.
If I see Rodrigo in your team, that's it.
No.
I'm getting rid of all my data.
At this point, I have no intention. At this point, I have no intention of doing that. Wow. I even had a doubt that I was going to make any transfers this week because I thought my fixture list this week is going to be really good. Like I said, I got Lloris, Perisic, and Kane, who I think are going to be involved in a massacre next weekend. If there is any game where Arnold and Luis Diaz are going to, I think, fire, if they should, hopefully, it's going to be against Bournemouth. Alexander-Arnold, Luis Diaz against Bournemouth. On paper, it's an easy game. What can you say? James against Leicester, that could be a problem, but I'm keeping him in for this week anyway. Arsenal, Martinelli, Zinchenko, and Jesus against Fulham. That's a good bet for any of them,
when I'm looking at your team, do you remember when we were collecting football stickers and you swept football stickers? I'm looking at your team now. It's like, got, need, don't want him, got, don't want him,
that's it.
Need.
Don't tell me you don't want Saint Maximin.
No, at the moment, I'm happy with my Rodrigo. I'm not thinking about Saint Maximin, but I do really like him as a player. If I pick the Premier League first, like a Premier League squad, actually to play against someone, I think he'd probably be in my team.
But I mean, based on last game against Man City, he should be buzzing. He should be full of confidence right now for that game against Wolves. So I'm just hoping that he's going to carry that on. Anyway, so Arsenal against Fulham is a good bet. And then the only change I made this week, I had Tony's strike partner, if you like, Mbeumo. How do you pronounce his name? Bumo.
You've done it well.
So I was debating whether I should upgrade him to Tony, the main striker. And I did. So I brought Tony in, and now my front line looks exactly like yours. And that's how it looks.
You better hope that I am not manager of the month, because I'm going to get flipping, don't copy my Nunez, and you're going to have to change all them players.
I just want to make one point. I watched Aribo, so you've left him on the bench against Man United, which is probably a good move. Or maybe not, because just a word on Man United. The media are going crazy. Gary Neville, the mouthpiece for Manchester United, is going crazy, talking about how Ten Hag has done amazing work with the players. They haven't. Man United are crap. They are crap.
Yes.
And they're going to go back to type against Southampton at the weekend.
To be fair, Man United are not crap. Like, as a team, they're expected to always do well. It's just because they've just lost the first 2 games.
Today against Liverpool, they were up for it. They were. Lisandro Martinez, Lisa Martinez, whatever his name is.
Lisa.
For the first second, he was, bumping into Salah. He was giving it to
Elizabeth Martinez.
They were up for it at home against Liverpool. Like I said, that they would be. They should be. It's Liverpool, Manchester United, Liverpool at Old Trafford. Liverpool weren't up for it, and that's what. And they, I don't want to go in that direction again. But that performance, I'll be very surprised if it's repeated against Southampton. I'll have that as a Southampton win or probably a draw, but I don't see Man United win that game.
Okay, rock and roll. Let's have a look at your team for games week 4.
You're going to love this. Look who I copied your Nunez.
No, everyone's copying my team. You're not allowed to stop it. That's your tactic. That's why you're doing it, because you're in front of me. So you're going to try and form your team so it's the same as mine. So there's no way of me catching up. That's not fair.
No, actually, what happened was I had to ship out Bowen and bring in another midfielder. And the only choice right now, this guy, he's the hottest property in football. And if he's at Leeds next season, if he carries on the way he is now, forget about the Premier League. He's playing at Barcelona, Real Madrid.
He's a Real Madrid style player, definitely.
He's a fighter. He's a Luis Suarez type of player that he just loves playing. He's got that love for the game. Yeah. He plays. He's a footballer.
He was bouncing about like a bundle of joy, enjoying his game, smiling away, scoring goals. I love him.
I may keep Skamaka for another couple of weeks, see how that progresses.
A few weeks ago, you mentioned that Van Duzel cannibalizes midfield. That was for the first week, even. I feel like you've totally munched your own defense with three Chelsea players. How?
Chelsea have normally got a watertight defense. They're impregnable normally. Leicester at home, I can't see Leicester scoring against Chelsea. So that's 18 points right there. And potentially Zinchenko, if he can keep. And Zinchenko, we have to mention Zinchenko. The way this guy's been playing since he's going to Arsenal, he's
very good.
He's loving his game. He's a happy player. He wasn't happy at Manchester City. He's a smiley, happy player. He's
a happy player too, Zinchenko, I suppose. I think he's actually happier at Arsenal, isn't he, than he was at Man City?
He's player.
Actually, Rock and roll. I think you've got a really good team for this games week. I think it looks like you're going to get about 70 points.
My biggest pain point is picking the wrong captain every week. So that's Jesus captain, which seems like the obvious choice. And I didn't do that the last time he was the obvious choice, and he got 16 points, I think. So this week I've made him captain, but now I'm looking at it and thinking, hang on, should I make maybe Kane a captain because I believe Spurs are going to demolish Forest?
Yeah.
Or maybe Kulusevski because he hasn't scored now for 2 weeks in a row. Odegaard at home to Fulham, that could be a good choice.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like I may change my captain before the weekend. That's something that I'm up for debate.
I'm predicting that 60-70% of the whole fantasy league manager will actually make Jesus captain. So he's not going to be that much a differential if you make him captain. I've made him captain as well, but I am thinking of changing it. Maybe he'll get 2 goals at least at Fulham, I reckon, but it won't be much of a differential for people that want to overtake people above you.
See,
CEO, what's your prediction for the Arsenal-Fulham game, just out of curiosity?
Well, it's like a London derby. Fulham are obviously on a high. They last-minute winner against Brentford at home.
2 goals against Liverpool.
Sorry?
2 goals against Liverpool.
Yeah. So it's going to be a, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Arsenal top of the league, they'll want to protect that. It's a difficult one to call. 2-2.
That's what I was going to say. 2-2.
Okay, so with that,
I was going to say 2-2.
Yes,
I swear to God, I was waiting to talk, but you guys got there before me. Oh,
so we all agree it's 2-2. Right.
Okay, but with that logic, and you assuming or guessing that Tottenham are going to score 4 against Nottingham Forest, wouldn't it be the safer bet to make Kane your captain?
Captain Kane.
That's exactly that. Like I said, I still haven't decided. I made my transfer right after the debacle of Liverpool at Man United. And I just kept Jesus as captain. So before the weekend, I may change it. I'm just waiting until the last minute. So obviously, certain things could happen, injuries could happen. You hear things this is things you should always wait for. Wait until the last minute. If a decision doesn't, not just in fantasy league, in life, in general, in business, anywhere, if a decision doesn't have to be made, don't make it until the very last moment, because things can change, things can sway in your favor. You can get leverage from certain things. I'm not talking about fantasy league now, so maybe I should. But yeah, unless it's to do with transfers, because if you wait till the last minute for that, the price of your player that you want to transfer out could go down. So you want to get that guy out immediately, right after the game finishes.
Yes.
Thinking of shipping anybody out.
Yes, I agree, because it works the other way. The other players get more expensive as well.
So one player this week, who's going to be obviously we're choosing the captains from our teams, but who are we recommending to be the highest scorer this week?
Well, in this climate, I would say it's going to be Rodrigo, obviously, because he's the highest scoring player in fantasy league at the moment. So well done, all you managers who predicted Rodrigo. But I've seen, as a rock and roll knows, there's some people that jump on it straight away. So it won't be long till Rodrigo's owned by quite a high percentage of managers. So get him now while the player's still hot.
I think this week the highest scoring player will be either Son or Salah, because Salah, definitely Salah.
You went for the wrong one. Wow. Okay. No, you never know. You never know.
Yes.
I mean, he's due that game, but like I said, I mean, if I say anyone else other than Kane, I think I'm a bit of a numpty, right? It has to be Kane.
Yeah.
It could be Kane. It could be Kulusevski. It could be Son. That's the thing about Tottenham. They've cannibalized their own midfield because yeah, they have. It's like everyone can
score. Of the fucking month.
No, they can.
You need to get some of your players, Conte.
What's that?
I'm saying to Conte, you need to get rid of, because he's cannibalising our midfield.
No, but they're all really good. It's like their value for money. I would say, yeah. I think Kulusevski is the best one actually because he's so cheap. It's like you're right. Why would you pay 12 million and like 11.5 for players that have scored less than Kulusevski when he was only 8?
Yeah, I might have to buy Kulusevski actually.
Well, my prediction for this week's top scorer, potentially, hopefully, is Ken Adams. Che Adams.
Ken Adams.
Who remembers Ken Adams? Ken Adams was the punchline from the Friends joke that Joey did in one of those episodes. Hi, I'm Ken Adams. Che Adams for Southampton against Manchester United after scoring a couple this week. I think he's on a high, I hope he's on a high, and I hope he scores a hat-trick this weekend.
He's only like 5.5, isn't he? Shadows.
I don't know how much he costs, but as long as he's scoring against Manchester United, we're impartial here. We're impartial here. This is more to do with the hype around Manchester United after tonight's win. They deserved to win. They deserved all 3 points. They outplayed Liverpool. They outfought Liverpool. They were more aggressive than Liverpool.
They were.
But much like I'll unbiasedly criticise Liverpool and point out the weaknesses, etc., I'll do the same with every club. And it says in my Twitter bio, which you should follow all of us from our Twitter accounts, you can see here.
Yeah.
I'll call out what I see, and I'll call it as I see it. Manchester United did well tonight, but they are no way back on track with anything.
You hope.
If they do well, they do well.
The thing is, it's
what I can't abide is the media rallying around one side. The media should be talking more about Leeds. The media should be talking more about Arsenal.
They should be, yeah.
These are the teams that the media should be talking about. The media should be talking about Newcastle and how's doing there. But you look at the media in the UK, I don't know about any other countries, and it's 10 hard, 10 hard, 10 hard, 10 hard.
Yes, absolutely. What's happening with Ronaldo?
Yeah.
You know, how can Man United get back on track? Yeah, you're right. If you like scroll through Premier League on YouTube, as Man United is dominant actually at the moment, and it makes an interesting story. Like such a big club, like having such bad times at the moment. Apart from those we've mentioned, we haven't really mentioned Brentford yet. Brentford are absolutely amazing. Anyone that wants to buy Brentford players, very good value for money. If you want to put your money somewhere and you haven't got a lot to spend, Brentford is a good club to look at.
I think we should start thinking about manager of the month, because this weekend, after this weekend's games, it's going to be obvious who the manager of the month is, and we'll be having spin the wheel in our next episode. So look ahead to that, and we'll see you again next week.
Next week.